All right, so
hello, everybody.
Hi, Jolly.
Answer your phone.
Yeah, so
just a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, you really need to get on top of some things, man. All right, we're gonna keep the banter short this time because I want to try a little function. And so, just everybody, give us about 15 seconds here while I hit this button and adjust this volume knob. Hey there, Midnighters and Moonlighters. Welcome to Nightwatch. This is your closer-in-chief, and I am here with Big Smoke.
Greetings, citizens.
And Kitty.
Hello, Nightwatch.
And finally returning, Jolly.
Hey, everybody.
So we got you on the phone line, and so far so good. Everything's holding up on the tech end of things, minus Tech himself. He's still handling real-world responsibilities and
via high-tech satellite.
Right. I mean, technically, you're not far off. It's just not our satellite.
Yeah, no. Well, we didn't need to say that. We could have just said, you know what I mean. We could have gone with that and just said it was our satellite.
Yeah, because everybody's just going to believe that, right now. Anybody needs to have access to satellites that they shouldn't. People online these days. But my brother was showing me last night while I was at my parents' place. Apparently, Iran's been putting out a bunch of propaganda, very poorly done AI videos, AI-generated music videos. Apparently, there's a rap diss track using Sora AI and Suno. They did a rap diss track on Trump and set the whole music video with Lego figurines.
Yep.
Did you see that Russia was helping him out now?
Oh yeah. Well, was it Russia, China have been supporting? They were supporting Venezuela back before we snagged up their leader, and then they're supporting Iran. They have publicly declared, or Iran and Tehran publicly declared that they were receiving aid from Russia and China. So, yeah,
just not the kind they need, like military.
Well, I mean,
I know they're getting drones. That's about as far as I read into it.
Yeah, they're getting drones. They're trying again with the whole stealth aircraft radar systems, which I still find fucking hilarious because the radar systems basically still run off of basically beaming light off of things, and it's like you're not going to pick up the stealth aircraft. That's not how they work. And if it's using sonar, we have sonic displacement weapons now. That's how we got through.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that like echolocation? Like you're bouncing it off and it's coming
basically.
back.
And yeah, so what happened in Venezuela was that we used the sonic weapons to disrupt their radar systems and all their ships and everything in the area. So like nothing was able to pick up anything, and we just swooped in and fucking bombed some shit and scooped some people up and left again. Now we're doing the same thing in Iran.
Yeah,
but good Lord.
But
I heard China has. Like a radar system that can beat stealth technology. I was reading into that.
BS.
Right, yeah, that's what they're trying to claim, and that's what they're trying to use out there. And then we just keep sending stealth aircraft anyways that they don't detect.
Just to prove wrong.
Okay.
This shit don't work, dude.
Like anything else from China. Yeah. Dug it out of the bottom of a Cracker Jack box.
They got it off Temu.
Yeah, they open up an old like like a building with used stuff, and they're like, just tell them it works. You know what I mean? Just get it out.
Well, that's what they've been doing.
Yeah,
they've been selling this craptacular stuff to people. And they say, well, we have this technology that will defeat the United States. And the United States is like, yeah, sure. We're coming.
Yeah, we're going to call your bluff.
We're coming. Okay, we're coming around the corner. We do not see you. We're coming around the corner right now. We do not see you. And boom. Oh, shit.
I think I saw a post about it. It was like they had turned it into a Temu ad. And it was like, for $15,999, you can get this, advanced anti-stealth radar system. And it's like,
look at you punching your mic
just all over the place. Beat it like a redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, if one of us did that, you would have gave us the knife hand.
Because I paid for these.
You just bitch slapped your
I
mic.
can smack these around all I want.
My mic, I slap it. But yeah, their technology is at least 2 or 3 generations by now.
I mean, we've always stayed ahead of them. We got ahead, back during the F-15 project or whatever. Russia was like, oh, we got this aircraft that can go so fast. And like, oh, well, we can't have that. And fucking, we built the fastest aircraft ever built.
We are way further than 2 steps ahead. We're like 15, 20 steps ahead.
They got the Chinese have their version of a stealth fighter. They can't even keep them in the air.
Yeah, they don't stay in the air, and their radar signature is about half the size of the aircraft.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, something about the F-22 signature size, like the size of like a hummingbird or some shit like that. Like it's literally just it's literally just the weather radar antenna that they can pick up, and
the
that's
size of a hummingbird.
Yeah, a whole ass jet that would be bigger than this whole apartment building. I mean, dimensions wise, length wise. And yeah, it comes through the size of a hummingbird because it has a weather antenna radar on the front of it that detects like barometric pressure and shit like that. And that can't be stealth coded because it's a sensor. It can't be coded. And so that's the only thing that gets picked up on radar. And technically that can be retracted.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
So the only time you literally have to look out your window and see one of these things coming.
But if you saw it coming, it's like, okay, it's too late.
Yeah, right. Pour me a shot real quick.
And then even the F-35, it's got a slightly larger radar signature, but it's got fire without line of sight or whatever. It's fire over the horizon.
They fire from miles. I mean, they used the satellite network in order to target the. They know what they're shooting at, and they shoot and forget. They don't have to. They don't have to see it.
It's just target locked from beyond the horizon and click.
They're like this grid coordinate right here. Yeah, right here.
This mailbox right here.
See it.
Now dial it back like 5 feet to the door front and then put it right through their mail slot. And they can do that from like halfway around the world.
Yeah. And people are like, we don't have a plan. Dude, this plan has been put into motion years ago.
How long ago was World War One?
1914, 1917.
Yeah.
Just the difference between having somebody that was from back then and looking at the technology now. I'm sure they just are. I mean, just bioplanes back then. I mean, it is insane now. World War II even, you know what I mean, dogfight. Now it's just, you know what I mean, you don't even have to be, it's like you said, over the horizon, and you fire a missile and you forget about it. You don't even see each other at this point.
Well, what's fun is that they can do that, but then they'll still like send an F-22 right up the tailpipe of somebody, a Russian jet, and like go up and tickle their chin and then fly back off again.
Yeah.
Just because we can.
Just because we can.
America.
America. Fuck yeah. Here they come to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
America, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, man. The nonsense these people come around talking. I got into a slight little talking to with somebody, and she
was this in person? Was this over the phone?
No, it was in person. It was at the Kroger's down the road.
Okay.
And you'll know her when you see her. She has incredibly blue hair, and she has I'm not talking like just a little itty bitty septum ring. I'm talking that sucker comes down to her lip.
It was like a dog chew toy tire running out of her nose.
And she was mad at my Trump hat. And I was like, well, what's wrong with my hat? She goes, oh, you know, he's a dictator. I'm like, really? He's a dictator?
Tell me more.
Well, I was like, yeah. Well, I hit it with the classic, well, I don't agree. And then she just I'm like, you work here, right? What are you doing, girl? You know, don't you watch any of those TikToks? People are losing their jobs doing what you're doing right now.
Right.
And she was like, oh, he's a dictator. He's murdering all those people over there. I'm like, okay, what's the problem? I mean, you do see all of those Iranians going, thank you, Trump. Thank you, Trump.
Right.
You know, they're kind of happy that they're bombing the hell out of the Ayatollahs.
Yeah, and the bad guys are like, you know, oh, death to America still, you know, fucking 50, 60, 80, 100 years later. I mean, we've had issues in that fucking peninsula for generations, literally.
Yeah, she was losing her shit. She's like,
yeah, if you're going to have a political argument, at least know your facts and know what you're talking about.
I said, you know, if someone from Iran walked in here and told you, hey, look, I'm glad what is happening over there because we're literally just eliminating the top echelons of the government, to the point where they're going to be throwing rocks at each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting rid of these guys are hiding under bridges because we're bombing them into the Stone Age.
Into oblivion.
It is seriously, they don't want to be out in the open because they know that somebody's going to drop a 3,000-pound bomb on them.
Fucking it's trying to argue with the people back here that are all up in arms against the actions we've taken so far. I mean, we saw the same thing with the whole Venezuela thing when we went and got Maduro and we bombed all those places and shit. And all the people in Venezuela are like happy as hell. They're literally dancing in the streets, throwing parades and everything else. Like, yeah, this guy's fucking out of here. Finally, we can do something and take back our country and get rid of an actual fucking dictator. And we got people back here like, oh, we shouldn't have done that, this, that. And then like they're interviewing people from Venezuela that are here and they're telling them like, hey, we're happy, thank you, President Trump for helping our families back home. And the people here are like, oh, you just don't understand. You don't understand what's really being done to you. You're being extorted right now. You're being oppressed.
I hate those kinds of people.
I guess they're going,
they got that white savior complex of, fucking.
They have blue hair.
Yeah, let me be offended for you.
I mean,
because you're too stupid to understand that they're mistreating you right now.
Jolly, what do you think?
I mean, from the dawn of time, since, like you said, throwing rocks at each other, you know what I mean? But, like, from the dawn of time, since a caveman could pick up a rock and figure out, I could beat someone alongside the head with this. And they don't move afterwards. They have been doing this stuff from the dawn of time. You know what I mean? It's going to happen regardless. I'm not saying, you know what I mean, that like, they do it all the time. We should just get in there and beat people alongside those rocks too. But they're trying to make a difference. And like you said, you would think we do it and then the whole country's going to be like, down with America. They're not. They go into the streets and they're like, think, this can be a sign of change. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's horrible. You know what I mean? I wish there was a diplomatic solution to everything, but I mean, they're going to do it regardless. At least we're trying to push some change.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, for me, it's a little more. It's a little more on your nose. You keep telling me that as soon as we get a nuclear bomb, we're going to drop it on you. Okay, I'm at 10% right now, but when I get to 90%, I'm going to drop a bomb on you. Hey, I'm at 50%, and when I get to 90%, I'm going to drop a bomb on you. Hey, we're at 60%. Nah, I'm dropping a bomb on you right now.
Yep. It's like someone pulling a gun out, going, hey, I'm going to shoot you as soon as I pull. I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
Are you just going to stand there and be like, hey, he might, but he might not? No, you're going to preemptively strike and make sure that, hey, he's not going to pull that gun out now because I know for a fact.
Yeah, you just wait till I buy those bullets.
Yeah, you wait.
Yeah, and then on top of that, just the shit that they claim. Like if you go just off of what they're broadcasting out to the world alone, they're reporting that allegedly they've killed 50,000 American soldiers so far, that they've captured so many more and everything else, and they're like, and again they're putting out these really bad AI propaganda videos of them like marching troops down through into a lineup to execute them and everything.
And we're just over here laughing. And
it's one of those very obviously AI videos and shit. Like for one, all the troops that they've supposedly captured, they're out there they're out there in woodland BDUs. Tell me, Big Smoke, when's the last time you've seen anybody in woodland BDUs? They phased those out back in, what was it, early 2000s?
Actually, they phased them out before that, but yeah, you might have seen someone like still had them.
Yeah, in the Throwback Thursdays.
Yeah. They didn't do their laundry. I mean...
we've gone through what either 2 or 3 uniform iteration changes since then.
Since the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of that, they had it was supposedly in like black and white night vision scope video or whatever. Meanwhile, one of the guys that's walking through with big dark sunglasses on, middle of the night. What's he need sunglasses on for? And they're all wearing caps instead of helmets. So like it's just all this very obvious. Like if you literally know anything about the military, this is obviously fake.
Yeah, right. But the problem is they've had media blackout on these people for more than 40 years. So a lot of them don't know.
Right.
I mean,
well, it just goes to show you.
Some of those people, some of those like hardcore Iranians who somehow snuck in some Starlink, and they're on their flip phones, and they're broadcasting.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if I had a neighbor right down the street that kept putting up AI videos on Facebook and showing me tied to a chair, knife to my throat, and everything. What do I think is going to actually happen if he ever got his hands on me? You know, like that is clearly very obviously a threat. And the U.S. military don't negotiate with terrorists.
At least not this president.
Yeah, definitely not this one.
Except when he's negotiating with you, he's like, "Hey, look, I got these 15 points that I want to tell you. I mean, it's the best deal for you. It's the best deal for you. And if you don't like it, I got these 3,000-pound bombs that I'm going to drop on your ass. It would be good if you just took this jail.
I got 3,000 airborne troops ready to go. They'll be at your front door quicker than DoorDash."
And they got all these strike groups just parked. Right? And they're doing the same thing they did to Venezuela. They parked all this armament right outside, just like a toe step away from being in your backyard.
Come on, let's in, coach. We're ready.
And he's like, "Hey, look, they want to kick your ass, but I'm holding them back."
And it's not just our guys either. It's also all the other fucking warring tribes in the neighboring countries and everything.
People that didn't even want to get into the fight until they started bombing them.
Yep.
Now
that's the stupidest. That's got to be the stupidest damn plan I've ever heard.
Right? Just literally just lashing out and just trying to show off, like, oh, you know, we still have military capabilities. Like, oh, and are you hitting anything? You know, and if
what
you
have
are,
you accomplished with
why
that?
are you pissing off everybody?
They hit something in Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia's like, they start sticking out their sabers. Okay, we're in it now. You blew up our hotel.
Saudi Arabia, UAE, French and English, or French and British bases, military bases.
Forget the British, dude. The cats, man. That's some serious fugazi shit.
Well, Trump said a few choice words as far as all the guys that promised that they were going to aid and assist, and hey, where are you guys at?
Hey Trump, we might be sending you some aircraft carriers. We don't need you anymore. Like, you can take those suckers back.
So actually, we're just going to take your parking placard. We're just going to borrow this real quick.
I find out they don't even really work that well. I mean, the UK is so mad. That's just talk about a defanged wolf. I mean,
you should have the whole globe conquered.
And
the sun doesn't set on the British Empire now.
Right, and you can't get your aircraft carriers out of port due to maintenance? Are you kidding me?
It's a whole thing. But
I remember when we used to get in trouble, like if you had a Humvee down.
Right, yeah. And they were going down all the time.
Yeah.
They were notorious. They were in fucking maintenance bays.
Hey, Big Sarge, we'll have that sucker ready by 7 a.m. But it's 5 now. Why you guys are not out and fixing that sucker now? I want that sucker done in a half an hour. And guess what?
Half an hour later.
It was done.
Right.
We didn't play that game.
Now,
It's not tea time.
the caveat to that one is when it comes to aircraft, obviously, because as former aircraft maintenance myself, that was one of the funner aspects of the job, was being able to tell like pilots who were all officers, like, yeah sorry, bro, we need 72 hours for the paint to dry, and you can't go up without it, because literally it would cause
you to crash.
Yeah, because that paint starts peeling at 1,000 miles an hour, and then it starts ripping panels off.
I don't know much about aircraft, but I remember hanging out when we was at Tinker Air Force Base, and those guys, man, they only had like 1 or 2 chevrons and I forgot, tech sergeant or whatever.
Hold on, shame, kitty, shame.
Hey, that
Don't have your ringer turned off. Nope. Phone should be off or silenced. Shame.
Fine, get the bell out. Shame.
Barely.
Shame.
She doesn't. She barely gets the comfy chair, considering from you. That's what love is. I mean, anybody else would have had the comfy chair out by now. At the very least, admonishment. Right. He's like,
Shame.
He's like, I love you. I love you. Shame. I mean,
What?
everybody else looking at shame. Hey, no one's looking.
Wow. I was looking at you because you're supposed to join in with the shame.
That's when you just go like this.
Yeah.
Shame.
The whole time he's got the
Shame.
heart emoji out.
Big Spokes had to be shamed a few times for leaving his phone on. We're just hearing the occasional ping.
And I'm sorry. That's just the way it is.
I tell you at the beginning of every recording
I
session.
think the last
just turn
podcast,
it.
I thought it was actually coming through your phone. And I'm like,
It
what
was
is that?
me, yeah,
I was
it was
like,
me.
it was coming through so clear. And, and your phone was
My
like
phone
right
was
next
right
to the
underneath the microphone. I know.
Yeah, I think the worst one was Jolly actually took a call on air the one time.
Jolly.
I don't think I did.
Yes, you did.
You did. I was there.
That's Iranian fabrication.
It was the president calling. You had to pick up.
Yeah.
Federal offense if you don't.
See?
All right. So, how about we go through everyone's week?
Yeah.
Oh, let's not.
Yeah, I'd rather not either. But that's what makes it good.
Yeah, your week is probably very bad.
Oh.
No good, dirty, rotten, pig stealing, great grandfather type of week.
Oh, loopholes.
I had a pretty okay week, except for today. Today I was paying my bills for rent, and I went down to the store, got my money order, stopped by this vending machine, got me some Twix. Went to my
Was it
car.
left Twix or right Twix?
Went to my car, got to the property management store, and I looked in my pocket. Money order isn't there. $500 money order. I was like, okay.
Fuck.
Oh shit. I tore my little man bag apart. I tore that sucker apart. Turned it inside out. I know I didn't just lose a $500 money order.
That you didn't sign.
It doesn't matter if you sign it or not. That's basically the same as cash.
Same as cash.
Yeah, but if you sign it, not anyone can just go and hand it in somewhere.
I've seen some tactics. I mean, it's not
man.
easy, but yeah, you can still get away with it. Tore my car apart. You know how junky my car is. I tore that car apart, and I was like, okay, where the fuck is that damn girl? I couldn't even do it. I was like, $500. I lost $500. And then I went back to the store, and I went to the clerk, and I said, hey, I know this is a long shot. Did anybody return a $500 money order? And she got all eyes all big. She goes, well, yeah, they did. I'm like, really?
That's why I love Ohio.
I was like, and then she goes, yeah. You know what that guy's name is? Cyrus.
Get the fuck out. Our Cyrus?
No.
Oh, okay.
The different. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how many Cyruses do we have in this town? Looked over my shoulder, and there he was, and he was smiling. I was like, as you know, at work, I played this game with 25 people. There were 3 people out of those 25 that said they would turn the money in, and I was like, I just hugged him. I was like, hey, man.
Yeah, God bless you.
I was like, I love you, brother. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I was just hoping that one day that somebody would do that for me. I was like, I got your back, baby, no matter what. I don't care where you are. I gave him my phone number. I said, dude, you need me? I'm your man. We're gonna short of robbery. He goes, yeah. He goes, yeah. I said, hey, look, I'm your man. I said, anything I can do for you, man? When's your birthday? I was like, $500.
Right.
Did you get it down at Kroger?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you, there are some good people at freaking Kroger, because the amount of times I have left my S24 Ultra Plus in the bathroom, I've left it on the counter, like at the checkout, and every time I do, I go up there and someone has turned it in. You know, I can understand if it's like a cheapy little phone, you know, and someone steals it or something, or if they turn it in, but you know, one of these, you're talking, you know,
Yeah.
$1,000.
I mean, you could literally just run over to Walmart real quick and drop it in that phone turn-in
Exactly.
bin for like a couple
and
hundred
it's in
bucks.
perfect condition, and every time someone has turned it in, and it's been at least 3 or 4 times.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I just played this game. And I was not happy with the result. Remember, I was like,
I was trying to buy a bunch of assholes.
I was like, you bunch of thieves, you know? And this one guy, man, he's just this normal guy. And I was like, God, man. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. That was the best day of the week.
Yeah, it's that good karma you've been putting out there, man. It's you today, me tomorrow.
Yeah. God, dude, that was an awesome day. I just, I was like, I mean, I had money to replace it, but man, who wants to replace $500?
Well, so there's the karmic rebalancing from what happened to us.
Yep. Do you want me to tell it?
Yeah, go for it, Katie.
Oh boy. Okay, so my week. So I got accepted for housing vouchers, and they gave us a list straight from the Section 8 County Housing Authority. And they give you a list, and they give you a list of all these different properties that accept the Section 8 vouchers. So, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, this place goes through government. So these people have had to have been vetted in some way. You can't just call up and say, hey, I'm so-and-so. Here's my name. Here's my phone number. This is a place I have for rent. This is how much it is. Utilities included or not included. Bye. And they put, so I'm thinking, okay, these people are vetted in some way. So I didn't have any reason to doubt the people that I'm calling to, check out these properties. So I picked the very first one. And the very first one, it's a nice 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's in a nice neighborhood. It's only 1 minute away from where I live right now.
A house instead of an apartment.
Yeah, house instead of apartment.
Literally a dream setup.
Has a nice backyard. Like I said, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And everything was like refurbished inside. It was beautiful. The pictures were beautiful. So, I contact this guy, and I will put his name out there, even though it's probably a fake freaking name. But his name is Manuel Fernandez. I call him up. He's of Indian, Hindu, language, whatever. It was really hard to understand him. I'm not good. Yeah.
That was wrong.
Right.
It wasn't Somalia.
I couldn't help it.
It was very hard to understand him. It was very, very, very thick accent.
Somalia.
No, it was a very clearly Indian accent.
Yes.
Because I got to hear his voice today myself.
Right. So, he starts out with the application fee. Well, when I moved here 5 years ago, I did the same thing. I got my apartment while still living in Florida and got my apartment all the way up here. We're talking like
handled everything over the phone.
Did everything over the phone. Everything over the phone. With this property. Did my application fee. Did the application itself. Did background check. Gave the deposit and the rent before I even rented a car to move up here. This place could have been not even here. It could have not existed. And so I'm talking to this guy. I give him the application fee. It's $100, and he said it was a refundable $100 application fee. And I said, okay. So I gave him the $100. I wired it over to him, and he sent me a receipt for it. So then I'm thinking, okay, well, it has my name on there. It has the transaction. It has the date, the time, and
his information.
Information on there. Everything's good. So I'm thinking, okay, everything's going great so far. And then he sets up a showing day for Sunday at 4:00. So I'm like, okay, well, now we have a showing day. Well, then he calls me back like 1 or 2 days later and says, okay, well, now I'm going to need the $600 holding fee, which, so basically it's a refundable holding fee to where, once you see the house, if you decide, oh, this place isn't for me, I'll give you your in total, the $700 back, the application fee, and then the $600 to hold the house so no one else can get it. So you can see it first and no one else can try to come in and get the house before you. So give him that. He sends a receipt for that. And so we're supposed to go see this place like a couple days later. And then, so 2 hours after I sent him the $600, he calls me back 2 hours later. And then he starts talking about, oh, well, I really think for your safety, you should put a lockbox on, like a key lockbox on your front door. And I said, what? I'm like, why would I need a key lockbox for my front door? Isn't that what realtors use to open it up and show people the house?
Isn't that something you're supposed to do?
Yeah. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, that's not something I have to pay for, is it? And he's like, well, it would come out of my pocket. And I'm like, oh, well, if that's the case, then sure. If that's what you want to do, then do it. And I'm like, but then he goes, oh, no. So I'll pay for it first, but then you'll have to turn around and I'll give you the locksmith's information and you send him the money. You send him $200. And I said, no, I don't want that. I don't need that. And he said, he's trying to push it on me. He's like,
Nigerian prince scam right there.
Yeah, right. And so he's trying to push on me. He's like, oh, to keep you and your family and your kids safe. I said, it's just me. It's me and my dog. I said, I have a service dog. I said, it's me and my service dog. And he's like, well, if you leave your, maybe you left your keys, and I said, there's going to be a multiple set of keys. And if that happens, I'll call my own locksmith. I'll get inside the house, or I'll call you so you can let me inside the house. And so he just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. And then finally I was like, you know what, just to make him shut up, I was like, let me call around. I said, but basically what I sent you is everything I had to my name. I'm like, so I don't have, I said, so I kind of got a little angry and I'm like, so are we still on for Sunday at 4:00? And he goes, oh yeah. My wife's going to be there. She's going to meet you. And I'm like, okay. And then so I asked him, do you know about the vouching program? And he knew all about the voucher program. He said, oh yeah, I had to fill out a packet. They'll come in and do their inspection. It's basically just a courtesy. They come in, they inspect everything. So again, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, he's done this before. He knows about the Section 8 housing. He knows how it works. He knows, he's sending me receipts. And then so after the whole lockbox thing, that's when things just like alarm bells went off. And I'm like, I think I made a mistake. So I immediately texted him after we got the phone and I said, you know what? I'm going to back out. So if you could, I put on there, I said, I contacted the Section 8 Housing Authority and I said, and they told me that I didn't need to provide you with any money until I saw the house first. So I'm just going to go ahead and back out of this completely. And he said, okay, no problem. I didn't hear anything after that. And I said, when can I expect to receive my $700 back? And nothing. So then I tried to call the number. Number's been disconnected. So
Jesus Christ.
Now I've had to dispute it with the bank. I've had to make a police report. I've had to go down to the Section 8 housing and tell them that they are a fraud. And then, which we actually ended up getting a hold of the guy today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because one of the ladies at the Section 8 housing tried calling from the office phone, and there was no answer. So we tried calling from my phone, and again it rang through to voicemail. But then he called my number back.
Yes,
and
he's
so
like another sucker.
Yeah, because when they call, it comes up as.
Yeah, so we call from my phone. He calls back, and like I am still weird on phones, but. So I hand off the phone to her and the lady at the office there, and so they take over and got it on
they put it on speaker.
Yeah, mm-hmm. and so she's talking to him and everything, and yeah, like I said, just very obviously like very heavy Indian accent, which I thought was kind of odd for Manuel Fernandez to sound like he's from the middle of New Delhi, but fuck you.
Well, they don't have to live here.
Right. Like I said, it was just a mismatch of, it'd be like, getting the same, that same voice on there saying he's like a Hank Smith from Indiana, you know what I mean?
I mean, Little Boss is a GM of your store right now. So you got to look at to where just because
I'm not saying that they can't be here. I'm not saying I don't like the Indians in my country. They can't be here.
But this guy is not here, obviously. So he could.
I mean, he was even saying that he was, out of state or something like that. Like he was,
I bet he was out of state.
And the number was not a local number either.
I bet he was out of state.
Yeah.
And so, he's on the phone. Lady's saying, hey, I'm calling from the Section 8 housing department. I'm here with this young lady who's saying that she sent or she has receipts showing that she sent you money for a property that we had listed for you, and she's been requesting a refund. Says that she couldn't get a hold of you, and the guy's immediately like, oh, well, I haven't received any money. I never got sent any money. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm very confused. I don't know what's going on. And she's like, well, we're confused too, because I'm looking right now at the receipt showing your name, your phone number, this phone number that we're talking on right now, showing that she paid you and you're responsible for getting that refund back to her. And he's like, and he just started getting angry.
Very angry. Like, started yelling.
Yeah, and like cutting her off and everything. I was like, I didn't get any money. I lost my phone for a couple of days, and so something happened. I'm very confused. But I didn't get any money. I didn't receive any money. I'm not sending any money back out. And let me make a couple of phone calls. I'll call around, and then hangs up the phone.
Just immediately
hang up the phone. Yeah.
Yep. So then basically they told me there's nothing the Section 8 housing basically said, well, there's nothing that we can do for you. Yeah, we can't give you the money back.
We don't have a budget for that set aside or anything. There's no money to pay out for.
Right. So they told me to go down to like legal aid to see if they could help, hopefully the banks. And then she's like, oh, we'll set up a GoFundMe. I said, that's how I got the money in the first place. I was like, I've been saving every penny selling stuff. And I said, I set up a GoFundMe. I said, my friends and family have been, helping me out with, trying to get this place. I said, because it was so perfect. And I'm like, and then, but I mean, shame on me. I should have seen the property first. I understand that. But like I said, just, talking to him and then him knowing about the vouchers and then that list coming directly from a government facility, you would think these people had been vetted. So I asked them, face to face, I asked her, I said, how do people get on this list? Do you vet them? And at first she was like, well, normally, they fill out a W-9. But then all of them were kind of looking at each other like, we don't recognize this name.
Right. The guy who does the inspections was there. The inspector was there at the front desk, and he was like confused, like, yeah, I don't recognize this name. Or no,
how did the name get there?
Right.
Exactly.
But come to find out that how she said in the beginning, like you would think that something like this, they wouldn't just be like, oh, anybody can call up and say, hey, here's my name, address, and phone number, list this property. That's exactly how they do that.
Yep. They don't vet any of them.
And then they just put a little boilerplate disclaimer at the bottom of the front page that says, that doesn't even have any of the address lists, but it's on the very front page that says, we're not liable for any incorrect addresses. And that's it.
That's
just
it.
incorrect address.
Yeah, there's not like a warning that says beware fraud, beware what?
Where's that packet at?
Where's the packet?
Yeah, we don't need that packet. We don't need that packet.
Right there.
We don't need a packet. Oh god,
it's a very quick thing. I just to get the wording out there so people can be aware of what to watch out for, because now this entire government agency is now free and clear of liability because of this little bullshit disclaimer. It says this publication is provided as a courtesy. Blank, blank, blank does not accept responsibility for incorrect or unavailable properties. Additionally, we rely on landlords to provide this information, and it is their right to make changes to their listings at any time. This publication is updated, in quotes, monthly, and is available free of charge to individuals seeking HUD-assisted housing through the Housing Choice Voucher Program.
Yeah, you see, so you would assume with the way that
and
they worded that
twice.
yeah, I noticed that they also made a lot of mistakes inside of there. But you would assume, just reading that they've been vetted in some way. Like, how are you going to have a list for someone straight from the government who barely has any money, who's scraping by, who's getting these vouchers to get a place, and then it turns out to be a freaking scam. And then she tried to sit there and tell us, oh, we went through all this in the briefing. I was there for the briefing. The briefing was very short. Maybe you were out there for what? Maybe 20 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was only like 2 minutes late, so they were still handing out the packets as I was walking in. And now they went all over tenant fraud. Like if you do drugs or alcohol, or if you if you move people in that aren't supposed to be on there, if you don't report your income, all those type of things. So they went very, very, and very good in very long, deep detail about fraud for tenant fraud, but never once did they say anything about landlord fraud, about like, hey, be careful, there could be a scam out there. One of these landlords could, nothing. There's nothing in this packet, and this folder is massive. I read through every single page, every single letter on, every single thing that's in this packet. And multiple packets inside this folder, and there's nothing in there saying anything about beware of scammers, beware of fraud. Nothing.
I remember like America's Most Wanted. There was a guy out there. He was like selling houses that weren't his, and he did it for years.
Yeah,
he would do it until the heat would get hot, and then he'd just take off from state to state, and he did that sucker all across the United States. And he just basically ran out of states to do it in, because apparently he had to go back to the state that he started doing it in. And
they were still looking for him.
And yeah, somebody recognized not his name, because he changed his name, obviously, but his face. They recognized what he looked like. And they're like, yeah, doesn't that guy look like such and such? And of course, they call the sheriff's department, and they had a picture of him, and they say, oh, that's him. And then they did a scam on the scammer. Like, they had somebody was trying to like buy this house or whatever. He was, making like he was doing a sale. And boy, those guys came out quick with the cuffs.
Yeah.
But the dude did it for years. Man,
and nowadays with things like Chime and Cash App and Venmo and all that,
it's so much easier. And you never see them.
Yeah, and like it's so easy to set up burner accounts for it, and like they don't. The go-between, the Cash App, the Venmo, the Chime, whatever, they'll tell you, if you're sending this money voluntarily, so we can't guarantee we can get you that money back. We can't, reverse the transfer, because otherwise, I'm sure there would be other people that would be pulling the fraud from the opposite direction. They'd send the money out to pay for something, right, and then they call up and be like, "Oh, hey, this was a fraudulent charge."
Yep. Then
they keep the thing that they bought and the money.
Well, remember, like when we first set up our thing between us.
Yeah.
How many different chiefs did I see? I'm like, holy crap, which one is you? I mean, I said that. I didn't show you, but I actually.
Okay, I was gonna say yeah, because like I'm not used to there being multiples of my name.
There's a multiple chiefs in there, different last names.
But
I could easily go. Oh yeah, send it to chief. Oh crap!
Well, that's why
chief.
that's why they tell you. Be mindful of who you're sending it to. Make sure you get the full name right.
Well, I hate that shit anyway.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's not like you use it all the time.
No,
you use it to send me money.
And I've gotten real good at like, how can I not send this to someone? Mm-hmm. And then YouTube says, well, if you do this, you could. Well, guess what? Big Smoke is going to go, yeah, I'm going to do this. So this fugazi motherfucker doesn't get my money.
Right.
And oh my God.
Yeah, it's like if you go on Facebook and you look me up. Sorry, I'm just still locked in on the seeing multiples of my name. It's like, yeah, if you look my name up, you see me and my dad, and that's it. We're the only two on Facebook. Yeah, apparently got a pretty unique name. I mean, the first name not so much. It's not as unique as
the last name, definitely. Yeah. But your first name? Oh shit! You're still here, aren't you, Jolly?
And hang up.
Yeah, we did your story for the week, my story for the week. So now we can do either Chief or Jolly.
Well, we'll go with Jolly because he hasn't spoken in a while. We'll make sure people remember he's here.
Yeah, sleeping on your couch over there.
How was your week, Jolly? What's been going on?
Oh, yeah. You slowly hear the snoring that I start usually. I'll be honest with you. I went to church the other day and I fell asleep and I woke myself up with a snore. And I looked at my dad and he was like, good Lord. And I was like, oh my, was that loud? He was like, it was audible enough for what I heard, but I don't think anyone else heard. I was like, oh, okay.
Just stop the whole procession.
Stop the whole, we got to
mid-sermon.
I don't know if that,
Comes out with the super soaker full of holy water. Just But
that is a crazy story that you guys just said, and how that you can't do anything at all to you know what I mean?
Well,
and then,
we've done all the steps that we can. It's just
now it's more of a waiting
it's the
game.
Fine print. It's the little fine print that, and I know for a fact they probably didn't say anything in like the debrief or whatever when you were talking to them.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They don't want you to know that. They want you to mess. I mean, I'm not saying on purpose, but they're covering their ass. You know what I mean? They're making sure there's no liability, and they put this little thing down there. It's like, oh, we're not liable. It's like, well, what?
Well, somebody should be, somebody should be fucking accountable for this,
right? Especially through the government. Like I said, that's why I didn't really think anything of it, because like if they would have went through that in the briefing where they were like, hey, make sure that you vet these people, make sure you meet them, make sure they own the house, make sure that that they're not scammers, then I would have been a lot more careful.
And they were saying that they had gone over specifically the step that you were supposed to take was that once you got in contact with the landlord, you weren't supposed to do anything else after that.
Yeah, they didn't tell us at all.
But take the paperwork, get the paperwork in the packet filled out, and then give that to the housing authority, and the housing authority would take it over from there and handle all the paperwork processing, and then only then, once you got the green light from both sides, send them money. And the lady at the office was like, oh, you can send them an application fee, that's fine, but don't send them anything else after that. And then like a couple of minutes later, I was asking about, or she was giving the rundown of, never send any of the money. I'm like, so there shouldn't even be an application fee. And she's like, no, don't give them any money.
Yeah, so she slipped up right there. Like she immediately was like, oh, well, they can ask for an application fee. And then I even caught her on, I said, well, I've read through every single one of these packets. And I said, and in one of the packets, it says the landlord is allowed to ask for a deposit. It doesn't say after you filled out the form. It doesn't say after you give it to the Section 8 housing. It literally all it says is deposit, and underneath it says landlord is allowed to ask for a deposit. That's all it says. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I'm allowed to do an application fee and I'm allowed to send a deposit. And that's the two things that I did. And now when I go there to tell them I did both these things and lost $700, they're telling me, oh, no, you shouldn't have sent any money at all. Mm-hmm. So I'm still, my dad's like, do you want me to come up there? He's like, he goes, they're going to pay you. They're liable, la, 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 la. So like he's ready to get a freaking lawyer and go down there and sue them completely.
And at that point, it might need to be what it needs to happen. But that upsets me. It's like you tell them, oh, this, I scraped by to get this. And they're like, well, you might want to seek, like, maybe some lawyer ask, you know what I mean, help or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's such a slap in the face because it's like, they don't do it for free. I'm going to have to spend more money than I gave to the deposit. You know what I mean?
Well, they did tell us to go down to the legal aid office where she could try to get some legal assistance. And they're like, yeah, unfortunately, we don't really handle cases like that. They don't handle fraud cases.
There was multiple things they've been saying that haven't been true. So like during the briefing, they also told everyone in there, and there was a pretty good amount of people in there receiving their vouchers that day. And they said, oh, and by the way, if you don't have a deposit, like say if you have no money right now, you can go right down to there's another office that helps you pay for the deposit. And they said you can go right down there and they'll help you pay for the deposit. So where did I go? Right after that briefing, I went straight down to that office, walked in, pressed their little buzzer, and they said, hey, how can we help you? And I was like, yeah. I said, I just came from the briefing from the Section 8. I said, I just got my vouchers. And they said that if I didn't have the deposit, that I could come down here and you guys would provide a deposit for people with Section 8 vouchers. And they immediately told me, oh, no, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Turn away at the door.
I didn't even go through I didn't even go through the actual door. I was stopped right there at the little button on the freaking wall talking to him, through a speaker. And she goes, no, we don't provide that. She goes, we help pay for individuals' rent, but we won't help pay for a deposit. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, they literally just told us that down there at the briefing for Section 8. So, like, there's really bad communication. And then, again, the lady today had said, go down to legal aid. They should be able to help you. Well, then legal aid said, no, we don't do that here. So I feel like they're just trying to push the problem on somebody else.
Well, that's what they're
around.
Yeah, right.
No, they're definitely doing that. I mean,
well, and somebody's got to be held accountable here. It's, I know in a fair and just world, somebody should be being held accountable.
There you go.
But unfortunately, this is kind of.
We're talking about multiple departments in the same building, and nobody's got their act straight.
All government.
Multiple people in the same room ain't got their act straight. We went down to the post office today, and they were talking shit about the Section 8 housing.
As soon as I walked in, so right after we went to the Section 8.
Well, after we went to file the police report.
Oh, yeah, we filed the police report, and then we went to the Section 8, and then we went over to the...
No, we went to the post office, then Section 8.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, we did the police report, and then we went over to the post office, right?
Yeah, because it's like less than a block away.
Okay, so we did that. We went to the post... Well, I went into the post office. I had to mail something out, just a little letter. And as I'm filling out the address on the letter, I hear two women over talking about the Section 8 place, because they just now turned in a bunch of mail with no addresses on them. They were all completely blank. And those two women were like, oh, I'm not dealing with them today. I am not going to, they can wait until tomorrow. I am not dealing with them. So apparently that whole place does not have their act together whatsoever. And it's very concerning, because they're dealing with people that are on their last leg. You know what I mean?
And a couple of times that I went in there with you into the Section 8 department, the lady that was there that was like the main one, seemed like she was the one either in charge or the one primarily dealing with people.
Yeah, she always
had an attitude. And
Always
it's like
has
you can
attitude.
tell like this woman is just so used to immediately being on the defensive footing because she probably just has to deal. And I get it. There are some people who are constantly trying to scam the system and they're trying to, just do it for the handouts and everything.
Successfully, obviously.
Yeah, but like...
Yeah.
But like whenever somebody like really just needs that.
Look, I remember. Bad memories. When I first became homeless, or actually a month before I became homeless, I was trying to get ahead of it so I didn't, get kicked out of my apartment. I went down to the county and I said, "Hey, look, I'm about to lose my apartment. I lost my job. I just need to get myself set so I can not lose my job." And they were like, "Well, you haven't lost your apartment yet, have you?" I'm like, "Well, no, I haven't lost my apartment yet. I'm trying to not lose my apartment. That's why I'm here." So, well, here we only help people who are actually homeless. You're not actually homeless. I said, so I gotta be kicked out onto the street before I can. Well, yeah, technically about 30 days. I got to be on the street 30 days.
Jesus Christ. The whole system's fucking...
Yeah, not only that, here they got rid of the homeless shelters.
So I was on the street for 2 months. 2 months. And like I said, pride was messing me. I could have called my kids. I could have called family, but I was like, I can't let nobody know that I'm freaking, taking craps in the bushes. I can't. can't do that.
Back behind the dumpsters of the Arby's parking
man.
lot.
Oh man, it was so.
Hey, I've been there. I've been homeless.
Yeah, it was bad. I had a buddy. He just basically he scooped me up and took me to his house and gave me one little like small ass room in his corner of his house, and I basically sat there and licked my wounds for a couple of years. I mean, best guy in the world. And he saved my life, really. 'Cause I don't think I could have done much more. But yeah, those government systems don't. You gotta really, really be dependent on the system, and then they'll go, okay, he's hungry enough. Here, give him that little piece of bread. Here, come here. Take that bread. Yeah, that's all you're gonna get for now. And in 2 days, we'll give you another piece of bread. And you do what we tell you to do, and
You won't cause trouble.
yeah.
You won't-
Don't look at me like that. Look at the ground. Look at the ground. And take this bread.
Picturing Dave Chappelle just catch bitch.
And I swear I was so disgusted with the system and myself. One, the system for being so
Ass backwards.
Yeah, just broke back mountain, man.
Like my parents constantly telling me, it's usually cheaper to fix the problem if you get ahead of it than it is trying to recover and take care of it after
Right.
the fact. And it's like, I mean, if they had just helped you before you became homeless, that would have solved the problem, and you wouldn't have been homeless.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like the way I am now.
Yeah.
I mean, they laugh at me, but I'm like, outside the drive-through window, what am I doing? I'm looking for all the coins that people throw away.
Heck yeah.
Drop change at the window.
Drop change. I look for the drop. And like, dude, man, that's bummish, man. You damn right.
But you
I'm
know
the
what
same
though?
way.
You go into Big Smoke's place and you'll see a whole big ass stack of rolled change, looking like a bank drawer in there. You know,
I was doing the same thing before I moved up here. I had $4,000 in cash. It was cash and change that I got from all the tips, and that's how that's the money that I went to when I finally went to the bank to open a bank account. I had I had all the money stashed inside of a really nice metal. I actually still have it, but it's like a liquor.
Yeah.
But it's a metal one. I can't remember what type of liquor it was. But anyway, it came inside this like metal, really nice
the
case.
roll top ones, yeah.
So I had all the money in there, and then when I got to the bank and opened up a bank account, I just dumped it all on her desk. And I said, this is going to look really bad, but because it was all like it was a bunch of ones, and it was just rolled up real tight, and each one was $100. So I looked like a fucking, like I was dealing drugs.
Drug money, it does.
And
Drugs are a
I
stripper,
literally
yeah.
I'm like, it's going to look really bad. And she's like, oh no, it's okay. And I just dumped it all on her desk. Just
Did she
the
give you a
rolls.
look?
No, she just laughed.
They're really good at giving you the political straight face.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not the judgmental face. It's nothing but I understand face.
Right.
Because I've done that myself. That's why I was laughing. I'm like, yeah, big giant metal can full of change and rolled up $1 bills.
It was $4,000. I told her, hey, I got $4,000 here. And she just scooped it all up, and then she went to the bag, counted it all, and boom, it ended up in the account. But yeah.
Yeah, my excuse, because I was ultimately embarrassed when I did that too. And I'm like, I'm trying to get off the pole. So this is the last of my stripper money.
I was making some jokes too. I was like, it's gonna look like I'm a drug
embarrassing
dealer.
when you had to do that.
I know.
Hey man, I was a delivery driver for years, man. I know what it's like cashing in those ones and fives and then the loose change and everything. But for the change, I had a coin jar that had like the lid that whenever you pop the change through it like kept track of it. As it went through.
We count it for
Yeah.
you.
But I would fill that up and then I'd go cash it out at either a Coinstar or at the bank, and then that was.
So I didn't like Coinstar. They
Yeah.
took 15%.
No, I won't do that.
Yeah, I that's when I got my own little coin thing. Just rolling that sucker up. It took forever. I didn't. That's how cheap I am. I didn't even buy the automated one. I had to roll.
Heck yeah.
It got all loose sometimes.
I didn't even have one of those.
Screwdriver tightened it back up.
I didn't even have that. I still have the bag of the coin, the little paper coin things, and I was putting them in one by one.
Oh yeah,
I still got some of those too, but I got the system down to where I could stack the coins up in my fingers and I could slide the paper in.
Oh, see, look
Yeah,
at
she
that.
got the technique down.
But I do know that we cut off Jolly on his week that he had.
Yeah, so
we
Jolly,
heard
yeah.
that he went to church and he fell asleep.
yeah.
I was really hoping to skip it all over. But,
Nope. How was your week, Jolly?
Yeah,
You gotta
I don't
fill us in
forget.
here.
I mean, it's been It's been just this week or the subsequent time that I haven't been.
Well, we haven't had
just
John.
last week. Just last week. Don't go into all that other shit.
Well, we haven't talked to him in a month.
That's gonna be too long. I want to know the key points. Are you still with that girl? Why were you in church? You know.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, do we want to go into that because that's the whole situation.
That's what we're here for, man.
Paraphrase.
I am not with her anymore, and it has to do with my dad. No fault on his part. Just yeah. Just know she's a little floozy, a little cheat.
Did she sleep with your dad?
Tried to.
Oh, that was the thing in my mind that I didn't want it to be true, though.
Yeah. And then I found out there was other cheating going on, but like, you know what I mean? And this is all after the fact, you know what I mean? It was one of the ones where it's not you, it's me. And I'm like, hey, you know what I mean? If you need to do what you need to do, you go on. You know, no one's keeping you here if you're not happy. And then all this stuff came out. And then my dad was like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, you know, she messaged me. It was like, hey, you know, don't tell, but you want to hang out?
Dad didn't fall for the pelvic sorcery?
No, he didn't.
That's why they were in
He's
church.
He's a lot like me. So I really was like, that's really good of you, Dad. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to say that I would presume he would do it, but I just know the pelvic sorcery seems to work on the pretty well.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So I was okay, keep going. Yeah. And it's not. I kept my, you know what I mean? I kept far enough away where it wasn't so interlaced, where it was like, she's living here, this and that. It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't pulling
I mean?
stitches out. It was pulling a Band-Aid off real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Which, the advice of my colleagues, you know what I mean, worked pretty well.
I'm going to just mute you, Big Smoke.
Yeah, mute him.
His laugh is so contagious.
It's so contagious. Yeah, so that happened.
Still picking up on both of the mics.
My car transmission went out.
Yeah. So your transmission on your car went out, right? Or on the newer one that you're making.
The newer one. No. The newer one. Yeah, no. The transmission went on that one, and we called around for people to take it, and there's no opening until like, I think this one was like 2 months ago. Good Lord, 3 weeks ago, and it still hasn't got in. That's the wait time on this transmission shop that we're looking at to get this fixed. So it's either the transmission or the shifter. I'm really hoping the shifter.
Yeah, one's significantly cheaper than the other. But so
yeah.
But so you've got, so that one's waiting to go into the shop, and then the car you actually own, finally got it into a dealership shop.
Yeah, and it's finally, and then they are absolutely just pitter-pattering around, and
because you've been through what, like 3 mechanics now with that thing, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with it, right?
Yeah, they figured. I mean, they're telling me they figured it. You know what I mean? It's just they're hitting me with, oh, this guy isn't working today. It's not going to be today, or the part we ordered isn't right, or it doesn't work, or something like that.
Yeah, if I remember, it was the first part they ordered was on back order, so you had to wait for that to get in, and then once it finally got in, it was the wrong part. And so then they had to order the new part and then wait for that to get in. That was like, each of those occurrences was like 3 or 4 days. And then, and meanwhile, what, you've just not been working, right?
No. Which I've said a lot of things about Little Boss. And I almost feel horrible because what I understand from him talking to me, he is absolutely, I mean, he's cool, but he understands totally. And I sent him a message a couple days ago and was like, I'm like absolutely sorry, and told him, if you need to fire me, which I don't want him to, but I was like, if you need to do something of that nature, you do what you need to do. I feel absolutely horrible. And he was like, you know, just hang in there, bud. He's like, whenever you get your stuff back, I'll put you right back on the schedule.
Really? He
said
that?
Yeah, verbatim on the message. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget too, Jolly closes, and we have no good closers besides you. And
oh yeah, yeah. It's
been a mess since you've been gone, man.
Since you've been gone.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. the people that what was that?
That was an air five.
Okay, whatever.
It's a high five from across the room. It's an air five.
I swear to God, you two are sharing the same brain lately. No, man, it's been hell. I've been pulling back on closing. I've been pulling back.
Big Smoke's down to what? 3 days a week,
3
4
days.
days a week.
I've been pulling back, and he's trying to slowly integrate me into the 4 to 12 shift.
We got one guy who's eager to try doing closes, but he's also got school and another job. We got another guy who's got a main job that works him like 50 hours a week on roads, and so he'll do like one close a week. We got the guy who is now a full-fledged teacher, 5 days a week, and can only work Friday nights.
And he's not closing.
And he's about out the door. We've got the one young kid who's decent at closes, but he's not super responsible. Not that he's not responsible, but he's just not very eager to work all the time.
Nope.
And then we've got
Big guy.
yeah, big guy. Well, he's apparently he's homeless now, basically, and he's just been.
But he won't work.
Yeah, he's not keen on working. He keeps making excuses of being too tired or too.
Oh, is that the one
wrapped
that
up
keeps
in it.
calling out and
Yeah.
making excuses?
He actually says I need to take a mental day.
Always using those.
Yeah, I was like,
It's my emotional cheat day.
I need to take a mental day. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
mental
the-
health day, yeah, because he's very out of. But yeah, so we've got like no closers. So Little Boss is very eager to have someone who will come in and close.
Yeah.
So that's why I was telling you when I messaged
Yeah.
you, just fucking, just
I don't know
whenever
if
you
he
can,
had-
get back here and then work
I don't
every
know
day.
if it's anything. I don't know if it's anything to do with like I like the kid. You know what I mean? I don't want to see him have a job.
No.
Little
Either
Boss
way,
doesn't
it
like
works out
anybody.
No, it's complete utility. You're a known entity. That's what it is.
and that works out either way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I was scared to death of him
Nah.
firing me, and then after it went on at 2, 3, when it hit the 3-week mark, I was like, I might as well just start looking, because there's no way he is going to take the 3rd week and go on. But that's what he said, and I was like, wow.
Don't make it into 6 weeks though, because I think he's, I won't say at his limit, but he's definitely stressed. I mean, like he's actually like, I got down to 3 days, right? He's actually starting to come to me and go, hey, do you really need these days off? And I'm like, I'm actually getting used to these days off there, Little Boss. And he's like, I need you. Really? That's kind of gay, but okay. All right.
You got me.
Yeah, all right.
You said the words.
Yeah. You didn't quite bend the knee, but I can, in my mind, when I close my eyes, I see you bending there.
On both knees, groveling.
Yeah.
He doesn't have far to go.
Please.
My liege.
Hey, now
He says that.
we're not mean
He
to our
says
short
that-
kings out
Yeah,
there.
no, I'm saying. So I'm
He
like, all
says
right.
that, and you let the air sit a little bit, and then
Yeah,
you go,
yeah.
How bad do you need?
Dude,
Go into depth. How bad?
How bad? Really? I mean, on a 1 to 10 scale, are we 5 or we a 6.5? Where are we?
Are
Where
we
are we on that
11?
cake?
I've already relinquished the cake.
I thought he owed you 2 cakes though.
No, he owes me a cake, and I think it's. Well, he doesn't owe me anything now, because
You settled that.
you know that thing with the other worker bee who gave away my gift card.
I was going to say, he's
to
going to get a
him.
gift card
Yeah.
now.
So he gave me the gift. So we're at 0 now.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of hot. I was like, look, I gave you something because I've considered. Let me drop the hat, because I didn't like this motherfucker. And I'm like,
Let's bury the hatchet.
let's start clean here, dude.
Yeah, because he did you a solid.
He did me a good deed. So I'm like, all right, here we go. And this fool turns around and gives my gift card to Little Bar. Kind of felt a little bit of way about that. I almost had a ninja moment. I was like,
This reminds me of that old Japanese commercial where it's like he hands him the business card wrong, and he just reaches out, and he takes the business card real slow, and then he just crumples it right there in front of him, very slow.
that is a famous
holding
commercial.
eye contact.
That's a famous
and
commercial.
Drops it. Yeah, that's just. I gotta imagine that's what it felt like in that moment.
Now, without getting too far into it, is it the same person that you've been having trouble with?
Yes.
That's all that needs to be told. I absolutely. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a dick move.
Yeah. So I just kind of with the little boss was like, I'm gonna need that card back. And he's all smiling. Yeah, it's still in my pocket. Yeah, I'm gonna need that sucker back.
And I mean, coming from you, you know what I mean? Like that, you bearing the hatchet first, that's something special. Not saying you're like, you hold grudges or anything like that. I'm just saying like.
He holds grudges. Big Smoke definitely holds some grudges.
I hold grudges. I do. I mean, thanks for saying that, but I hold freaking grudges. You try to do me dirty, yeah, you're dead to me. And I mean.
Well, I think we talked about that when we were talking about, when we did the D&D episode where you would be a dwarf, hands down, because you hold grudges like one.
I'm a dwarf with my hammer. And I'm gonna use it, and he knows too, because he before it was like he would not bother me, but now he gives me a wide berth because I think everybody in the store who knows about it has told him that, like, you need to get out of Big Smoke's way. Just leave him be. I mean,
Sad part is he doesn't even know your name, or at least he pretends not to. Anytime that he talks about you or Jolly, it's always like, hey, you know the guy you do the podcast with, the one with the fanny pack strap across his chest. I'm like, you mean Big Smoke? He's like, yeah. Can you ask him this for me? I'm like, he's in the group chat. Why don't you just ask? Oh, I don't know how to work that thing. Can you just ask him? And he really doesn't. There's been a couple of times where he's tried to he tried to archive a message or something like that, and he ended up removing himself from the work group chat.
Oh my god!
I thought he quit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but he won't come anywhere near me. Yeah, I get.
And the sad part is, he's a nice enough guy when he wants to be. It seems like he's just got some kind of weird thing about certain people.
He's a workforce terrorist. He is.
Yeah.
He's got some problems.
He's a workforce terrorist.
He'll get in his own head, and then he gets stuck in a rut, and he's like, listen, I got to go home. I got to go home right now. I don't care if you got to fire me or whatever, but I got to go home. I got to leave right now.
It's he's done that so many times. I'm like, go. Get out of here.
Yeah, just go home.
Go home.
We'll handle it from here. We all want to be here.
Why threaten me that you're going to leave? Leave.
All right, Kitty, what were you pointing at?
Oh, I was hearing that Jolly was trying to say something, and you kept talking. So I was like, hey, let Jolly.
He knows what to speak up.
Well, I'm sure it's harder, being in the room and knowing when to speak because everyone you can see those mouths talking and stuff.
In the room, he'll do that too. He needs to speak up and just keep speaking like Big Smoke does.
Thank you, Kitty.
You're welcome.
All right, Jolly, go.
No, I just that all happened. The money situation. I mean, I'm absolutely. I'm glad that the people for the car, which I've explained everything to them, and they have wrote it down, and which I don't know what that's going to do or what that does for me, telling them that I don't have it anymore. They still call for the money. It's just it's been an absolute heck trying to figure out everything.
Well, so like we talked about before, whenever it comes to that gap insurance and stuff like that, like you don't owe the money to the people who sold you the car anymore. They've already been paid. You now owe the money to the bank. The bank just wants their money. They'll take the car as collateral, but if they can't get all of their money back from reselling the car to somebody else, you'll still owe the difference. That's what happened with me and my my last truck that I had gotten financed and got it repossessed.
And that's why you got to get that cleared up. Now.
Yeah. And
dude, it's like...
you still owe that car payment.
Yeah, like I said, when I had the car that I had, and I owed still like $1,800 on it before I owned it free and clear. And I kept getting calls on my phone. Hey, sir, you haven't made a pay in a month and a half. So you haven't made a pay in 2 months. So I finally just drove my car down to the bank, and I said, hey, look, man, this is the deal. I just... got evicted basically from my apartment. I have no cash. All I got on me now is $80. I said, what can I give you of that $80 that keeps me on your good graces? I don't want to lose the car. I don't want you guys to come take the car. I want to keep the car, but I have $80 until the foreseeable future. How much can I give you to say, hey, look, I still want to be a good customer. I'm not a good one. I still want to be in the game. What do I gotta do? So that kid did me a solid, man. He went into the next room, got his boss, and then his boss's boss, and all three of them came into the room, and they were like, okay, Big Smoke, look, I was a veteran too, and he's a veteran, and he's in the National Guard. We hear what you're saying, and we believe you. You got $80? Give us 15.
Shit.
Oh, wow.
See, I tried that shit, and they told me, "Can you come up with $8 more?"
Nah, because I'm looking across the table with 3 veterans. So they were like, "Give us 15, and you give us 15 until we can turn that into 100. How about that?" And I was like, "You got a deal." Shook on it, no paperwork. Shook on it, reached in my pocket, grabbed $15, put it on the table. They gave me a receipt, and then the rest is history. I didn't spend I spent like another month on the street. And then I got me another job, and I was living in my boy's house. 2 paychecks after that, $1,200 here. And they were like, "Really?" I'm like, "You guys were good to me. I'm trying to be a good person here. Take how much you got left?" I'm like, "Don't worry about that. I'm good." And he's like, "Here." Took a straight 1,000, left me 200. You paid and clear. And I was like, and he's like, gave me a slap. I never heard a slap. That little receipt stamper thing. That sucker came out loud like a thunderclap, like kadoosh.
Like what do they call it, gavel, when the judge just goes,
"You
bam."
own this car now." I'm like, man, I was like, let me get out of here before I start crying.
I was gonna say, I got some dust in my eye.
I'm gonna start crying. I'm about to bitch out.
I'm allergic to emotions and feelings.
Oh shit, emotions. You're like, yeah, man. That's a rough time back then. It's a rough time. But yeah, people took care of me back then.
Yeah, but Jolly, like you're at the point now, man, especially having been out of work for so long, like there may be some time to make some hard choices here. It's you're either going to have to be able to very quickly like get in contact with whoever and see what you can do as far as a payment arrangement, because I had to do the same with my car with that. Or you may have to let that one go back to the bank, and you'll have to pay the consequences later. But you won't have to worry about it right now. And since you already have your car that you do have paid free and clear in the shop and getting worked on, then you only have one vehicle to worry about.
There's also another thing they were letting me do with the car that's still out there that they still haven't came picked up. They were supposed to pick it up like 3 months ago. Anyway.
Yeah, anybody listening to this podcast for car advice and financial advice, the only one you should be listening to is Big Smoke.
Yeah, for real. That's not my car technically, so it's not going to go on my credit. But yeah, it's still sitting out there. I called and told him, he who shall not be named.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
I called him and told him, if you don't want these payments to stack up. What?
What did you say? Jolly, what did you say?
I laughed. I'm sorry.
It came through really garbled, so it sounded like you said something. But
I laughed.
But I messaged him multiple times saying, if you don't want this to keep stacking up on your credit, because they still have not came and got this car, and they know where this car is. I'm like, you're gonna have to call them and tell them, hey, come and get this car. Because otherwise, these payments every month are just going to keep stacking up. But what I was going to say was, back when we would fall behind some months, a lot of times, like especially when our car at the time was in the shop for transmission, it took a month for them to get the transmission because it's 2016, but it's a CVT transmission, which is harder to find. It was bad. It was in the shop for a month. So they were just basically calling around and trying to find one. I think they finally found one states away, so they had to wait for it to ship and everything else. But anyway, during that time, of course, we were hard up on my money and everything, but you can call them and let them know what's going on. And what they let us do is move the payment from the beginning to the end of the payment, until you pay it off. So you can actually call and ask them to do that as well. If you've been good on payments, if you've been a good customer and stuff like that. Then you can call them and say, hey, this is my situation. I can't afford it right now. It's been sitting in the shop. That's literally my life. How I make my money is my car. So and you can, get something. You can maybe. I mean, they didn't ask us for proof of anything. But I mean, even if you wanted to go out to the mechanic place, like how Chief said, and get something saying, hey, my car's been here for X amount of time, and I haven't been able to drive it, so I can't do my job. And then call up your loan company who you go through and say, hey, can I move this payment to the end of the billing cycle, and that way you won't have a payment for that month at all. It'll just get moved down to the very end.
Yeah, so essentially if you're at the 5-year and 6-month mark, you'll owe for 5 years and 7 months.
Exactly.
So you have one more payment.
Exactly. Right. So that's what I would do if you didn't want to lose the car.
I've been looking into a few things. Like I said, I might call and ask them about that, but they've worked with me pretty good so far. You know, of course, they just want the money, like you said.
And the worst they
Right.
can tell you is no, and you're just still in the same spot you're in right now. So
I'm trying to get a lemon law because they knew this thing was messed up from the shop. You know what I mean? I didn't have the know-how to know that there was something wrong with it from the shop. It would do this stuttering thing, and it wasn't like bad. I just thought, you know, it geared up kind of weird. And I was like, well, maybe it's the car, which I should have got somebody in there that knew what the hell they were doing and been like, what is this? Tell me what this is. You know what I mean? What's this fuel like?
hell, you can like punch it into ChatGPT, and it's been pretty correct on some things so far, even with vehicle maintenance issues. I wouldn't rely on it solely, but like as a starting point, you know.
Well, you saw how I do it. You saw how I do it, right? Because like for the regular stuff, like the oil changes, tire rotation.
You just take it somewhere.
I just take it somewhere. But if it's anything to do with the engine or the transmission, it goes straight to the dealership, and I pay that extra coinage.
And the long drive out
And
there.
that long drive out there, and right after work, and I'll be tired to sleep. I'll be falling asleep in that waiting room or whatever the hell you got with them uncomfortable ass chairs, and I'll set up 2 or 3 of them, and I'm laying there. And what's funny is like one of the other customers is like came in one time and they're like, this guy acts like he owns the place, and they're like, oh, well, that's Big Smoke. He's a longtime customer. He's been really good to us, and so yeah, just don't bother him.
Leave him be.
He works nights. I mean, that's what the guy said. Just because I took those chairs. I'm like, man, screw this shit. And I just laid out. I mean, right after work, I drive up there, and when my transmission went out, I think I had the car towed out there. AAA, God bless you. They towed that sucker. I mean, that's an hour and a half drive. Yeah. And they towed that sucker out there. They put it on the lot. And then the clerk knows my car on site. He's like, Big Smoke, what's wrong with it? Transmission's out. Cool, we're on it. That day, he calls me back. We got a transmission. We're going to put it in tomorrow. It's going to take about a couple of days, though. You good? I'm good. I think 4 or 5 days I was without that car.
Yeah.
And then AAA, God bless you, pay for my rental car that I wasn't supposed to be driving for work purposes because I put 100 miles plus a day on that car.
Yep.
And they gave me, I think, 300 miles with no fine fees. Because I guess over a certain amount of miles, they start tacking on extra. Yeah. So I had 300 miles. I drove like 200 miles over it, and they only charged me for 100.
Yeah, there you go. No.
So I was like, and then, but what really got is that when other drivers heard that, they were like,
what kind of insurance you got?
I got the old man insurance. I got the old man insurance.
Got that old reliable insurance.
And when I pay for my transmission, I pay for it in cash. So it's like,
was it still under warranty?
Huh?
Was it still under warranty?
It is now.
Oh,
but
okay.
when it went out,
it was the original transmission.
Yeah, the original transmission. It was like 10,000. I mean, I put like 100 and something thousand miles on this car in 2 years.
Yeah.
And so I went through that warranty was gone.
Oh.
But now the replacement is like I got 3-year unlimited miles on it.
There you go.
So
yeah, the transmission. So we still had the warranty, so we only paid $100 for the transmission in the car that's still out there. But it's covered for a year. Like you said, yours is 3 years, but this one's for a year. No matter what happens to it, I just bring it back down there to them. And
now, is this one the full drivetrain warranty, or is it like it was before still?
No. So now that warranty's gone. That other warranty's gone. No longer does the powertrain, all that. But they through I can't say their name. Through the mechanic that I went through, because the dealership couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, and everyone kept saying transmission. And like I said, when I think I said it in the last podcast, but they drove it for like a minute, and then he called me up and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's your transmission." So they knew immediately. But through them now, because they replaced it, it has a year warranty through their shop.
right.
So, but it's going to get, I'm going to walk out there one day. It's going to be gone. I'm just waiting. I cleaned out the car completely. And because I know at any time now, I'm going to walk out there and they're going to be towing it off. So I mean, the tags are from last year. That hasn't been updated. I haven't. The car insurance dropped off. It's I still drive it though. Don't take my advice. Don't do what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I got in trouble for that before.
Both for you, man. That's just crazy driving out. As many times I get pulled over.
That's all I'm saying is that I didn't see no driver's license slot in my car to start the engine and get it moving. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Cops don't sit on back roads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, the tags on the registration on the car right now it was supposed to be done in October of last year. So it's been what six months, something like that.
For legal purposes, these are all jokes. Happen in Minecraft.
Don't do this at home, children.
Just don't get caught. Keep your head on a swivel. If you see a cop, just wave hi.
Oh, see, I get
don't drive after a certain time.
I respect and like most of the police officers in this town.
Oh, absolutely.
And I still get pulled over, and it's like, "Hey, Big Smoke, yeah, how you doing, man? You were doing like 7 miles over. Oh, cool, man. Write that ticket. Nah, I'm just gonna give you a warning. I just wanted to stop you and say, slow down."
Oh yeah, that one we saw last night. We were walking Lady. How fast was he going? Remember?
He was probably going about 50, 55. So.
There's no way. There was no way. He had to be going like 80. He the one that went this way first, and he was like,
that was not 80.
It seemed like 80.
We were on
it
foot,
looked like
so
80.
I don't know when the last time you calibrated your speedometer, your radar gun.
Hey, it was fast, all right? It was fast.
It was definitely over the speed limit, for sure.
He was also the only one on the road, but he didn't have his lights on. So
I love how you do that.
They don't have to have their lights on.
To speed? Yes, they do.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I looked it up. They do not have to have their lights on. Now, to pass through a red light, they do. But just driving to somewhere,
they can drive as fast as they want.
They can drive as fast as they want if they
my
get a call.
My cousin is a Chicago cop. You know why he became a cop? Not because everybody in his family's a cop. He did it because he doesn't like to drive the speed limit.
He just want to be able to get anywhere he's going fast.
He drives his personal car like that. And he's been stopped by other cops, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm on the job." And they're like, "Go on, carry on." They do that, man. You can't do it
cheap on that one. I thought they had to have the lights on if they were going to go above the speed limit.
Remember that movie Superbad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what happened when they came to a light?
Kick the lights on.
Yeah,
Roll right through.
So they went through the light, click. They did it like 2 or 3 times in the movie. It was like, and they were speeding too. And they come into like,
like I said, I only know that personally because I looked it up one time because I would see cops just flying all over the place, and I'm like, man, why are they? And it would say like they're probably going to, they probably got a call, but the only time they had to turn the lights on was if it was a red light.
Nah, in San Diego, I remember when I was like just before I was going into the Corps, we saw a cop do that. He was at a stoplight. Mm-hmm. Turned on his lights, ran through the light, and like a block later, he turned his lights off. I saw that like 2 or 3 other times. I'm like, what the hell is that? Mm-hmm. And like, he can't do that. And then I went down to like a dumbass, I went down to the main station in downtown and called myself going to report cops breaking the law. Right. And they let me know. It's like, yeah, he has to turn his lights on going through a stoplight to let all you idiots know that he's coming through the stoplight. Right. But he can drive as fast as he wants to, son. Now, move along. So I moved along.
You got told.
Yeah, I basically got told to go kick rocks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, shoot. But yeah, and it turns out that's cops all over.
Yes. Now, is it right for them to do if they didn't receive a call? No, it's not right. No. They're not supposed to be just doing that to get through red lights.
Yeah,
no.
But you're not in the car to see that happening. And even if you did, what you gonna do?
Right. Well, now in Florida, they cracked down on it in Kissimmee because my dad worked for the city for a long time, and they noticed that a lot of cops were doing that just to literally get through the red lights. They weren't on a call. They were cracking down. They were actually other cops were pulling those cop cars over and saying, "Hey,
well, the sheriffs will step in or say hi."
Right, exactly. And they say, "Yeah, you can't do that. You can't, because they have cameras everywhere, in Kissimmee, like all the." So they would clock them, and they would see it and go, "You went through that red light with your lights on, but then you just pulled in somewhere, just to go to a gas station.
Right, yeah. Stop to Wendy's,
yeah, or stop get something to eat, and they're like, you can't just do that, but it happens everywhere. You know what I mean?
And it's funny when you see cops dressing down other cops, especially when they're in uniform.
Oh yeah,
it's funny as hell. Cause it's funny because when the cop they're getting all in his face, and then the cop is looking around like, "Hey, dude, other people are watching."
Yeah, I know. Why do you think I'm dressing you down so hard?
Yeah.
Don't do this to me here, dude.
We're doing good cop, bad cop right now.
Back at the office, man, not here.
Not in public.
Yeah.
So just because I love my fact checking. So in Ohio, police officers are generally exempt from speed limits when responding to emergency calls or in pursuit of a violator, but they must use emergency lights and sirens to be exempt from those traffic laws under Ohio Revised Code Section 4511.24.
How are you going to enforce that?
However, officers may speed or travel without lights for tactical, stealthy, or undercover situations.
Yes, see.
How are you going to enforce that? It's just like...
They have to enforce each other on it.
Exactly.
But in a small town like this, they ain't going to.
You're
It's in a small town.
You're going to get me...
Well,
it's like...
So it's not a small town.
No.
It's like 30,000 people.
Yeah.
That's not small.
That's small to me compared to
Yeah,
Kissimmee.
but our academy, our last academy, you know how many graduated that academy?
Like 3.
3.
Oh, he was right.
3. 24 went through. 3 graduated. It's like, yeah, they're going to police each other. Sure.
Fucked up part, man.
Excuse.
When I got pulled over and I got my car impounded, the officer who did it was a kid I was going to the JVS with back in high school. He was a year under me at the going through the what is that called? It was like they had some kind of law enforcement class or something like that at the vocational school. It was like pre-law enforcement. What was that?
Go ahead and finish your story, and then I'll let you know.
Okay, but yeah, so it was. I knew the guy by name. He was like a year or two younger than me, and I'm like, motherfucker, you know who I am. I'm a block from my house. Like, just let me get home. No, I had to walk up both those big ass hills.
He's like, we weren't that much of a friends.
Well, I mean, like I knew who he was. I don't even know if he. Well, I mean, no, because he was friends with my buddy JB because him and the cop and his brother back in the day used to volunteer at the same fire department as my buddy JB, and so I'd see them there every once in a while. But like,
So you were saying this was a big city, right?
I mean, yeah.
And how many people did you say?
I said about 30,000 people.
108.
As of right now, there's 18,124.
What?
As of 2026,
Is that
18,124.
Is that counting and or just?
I was saying earlier. So you want to know the population of Kissimmee?
No.
Just try to guess.
No. Go ahead. Tell me.
No, go guess.
50,000. 100,000.
A little bit less.
90,000.
87,500 people in Kissimmee.
In Kissimmee?
In Kissimmee alone. Just Kissimmee. 87,500 people. So when you said this was a big city.
I didn't say it was a big city. I just said it was a city. It's just not a small town.
Okay, I said this is a small town. You're like, this is a small town.
All I know
to
is
me, this
I've
is
lived
a
places
very
with
small town.
populations in the 3 digits.
I know,
but
I know we're losing population every year.
Oh,
I know
absolutely.
I know that much. My favorite shoe store is closing. And I'm like, look, it took me a long time to find this store. You're the only store I buy shoes from. And now I don't even know.
How do you not buy shoes online?
I can't buy shoes online.
Why?
They never
you can
fit
get
right.
whatever you want online.
They never
Yeah,
fit
they
right.
never fit right.
Yeah, I agree. Like every shoe, like just like pants, I can wear a size 1 pant or I can wear a size 4 pants. Because women's are different than men's.
Yeah.
They don't do like your waist and your length size.
Yeah.
And then so shoes are the same thing. I have to have like a wide, like I could wear a 9 in a Converse, but then in a different type of shoe, I could wear a 7.
So figure out what size fits what shoe, and then just buy that shoe.
Why not just go to the fucking shoe store if I'm going to try on every
walk
shoe
out with 'em.
anyway?
What if they don't have that shoe?
You go to the store that has it.
Yeah, the shoe store has like every shoe you can imagine.
Look, this store-
I've been buying shoes online for the past decade now.
you
and
are a weird animal. I'll put it that way.
I know I
Because-
wear an 11 and a half wide in the work shoes that I buy. I wear an 11 Or I wear a 12 work boot and I wear an 11.5 wide hiking shoe, and that's all I need. That's
I wear.
I've been cycling through those 3 things for 10 years.
I have this one store that I bought the shoes in, and it's just I like to walk in, get what I like, and walk out. I don't want to check my mailbox every other day. I just
It tells you when it shows up. Sends you a picture of it sit on your doorstep.
With me, we go to the stores. Oh, I forget what size I am, but 3, 4X. A 3X at Kohl's is different from a 3X at Penny's. I've noticed, you know what I mean, where I go in and
it's less about the store and more about the brand specifically. But yeah,
true. Whatever it would be, I've been burnt that way, and I've also been burnt getting stuff online, like a shirt, and I'm like, that shirt's so cool, and it says it'll fit me, and then I get it, and I can stick one arm in it, and I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. I'm never doing this again. But I've done that multiple times, thinking like, this is such a cool shirt.
You can't buy off of Temu because it's Asian sizes.
No. Temu is American sizes. That's not true.
Now it is?
No, it has always been. Okay. It will tell you the American sizes.
I've never bought from Temu.
Wish was different. Wish was Asian sizes.
Yeah, I would have to get like a 4 triple XL.
Yeah, Temu it tells you the American sizes right on there.
No.
Yeah, but yes, I'm the same way. I'd rather go inside of a store, try it on. And if it fits, then I'm like, okay, it fits. If I get it shipped to me, like clothing wise, and I have to try it on and it doesn't fit, now I have to return the motherfucker, wait for my money to come back on my card.
I like the way she says that.
And then I have to shop all over again online just for the next one that may not fit. And I have to return that motherfucker and then do it all over again. You know, it's not like I'm buying a phone charger or like something like a piece of furniture or something, but like, yeah, clothing, no, I will go in store. I will never buy clothing online.
I mean, granted, I feel like my closet, whenever I have all of my clothes and everything, not all packed away in duffel bags, I look like a cartoon character opening my closet. It's just like 20 of the same shirts, 10 of the same pants, and, you know, all the same socks and everything.
Me too.
You know,
like SpongeBob. Open up your closet, it's all the same.
Oh, yeah, just like Rick and Morty when Jerry goes to move out, he just grabs all of his same shirts.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like...
What I liked about Rick and Morty is that Jerry has his own little like nursery, like they have all the Jerrys from all the
Jerry
different
I liked the dimension hopping Jerrys. They're like, oh yeah, in certain universes there's soft spots in between because of all the hopping around that Rick and Morty do. So he's like got like portals and closets, you know, bathroom medicine cabinets and shit like that. And there's a network of Jerrys of different Jerrys that are running everything.
What's so messed up about that is like the Jerry that they got is probably not the Jerry that they took in there. There's that one episode where they took Jerry in there and they had that big like.
Oh yeah,
it's not.
It's not. Yeah,
they find out later on that it was the wrong Jerry.
It was the wrong Jerry.
Because
towards the end of season 7, I think it was.
It was between 5 and 7, but
when Rick Prime shows up and he resets the portals, evil Morty.
Evil Morty.
Yeah, evil Morty ends up messing up all the portals. So when Rick finally fixes his portal gun, he has to do a reset, like a hard reset basically on his portal gun. And when he does it, he instead of just fixing their dimension, he sent all of the Ricks, Mortys, Jerrys, everyone to their original dimension. So then Jerry walks in. So they're blinking green. Rick and Morty are, because they're not in their original dimension. Because remember, they had to skip dimensions because of those creatures.
A couple of times.
Yeah. They Cro-Magged everybody.
Yeah, right. The Cronenbergs.
The Cronenbergs.
So they start blinking. Yeah. So they start blinking green, and then Rick is like, oh shoot. He's like, I may have accidentally, reset it to where, everyone's going to return to original dimension. So Jerry comes walking into the garage and he's blinking green. And then so he's like, why am I blinking green? And don't tell me you don't know, because you're also blinking green. And then, Jerry's trying to figure out why he's blinking green, because Rick has already explained why they're going to different dimensions. And so eventually Jerry finally figures it out before they disappear into their original dimension. And he goes, oh, the Jerry Baree. So it turns out he was the wrong Jerry they took home.
God. That show is so messed up, man. It hurts me to think about all the trouble that those two have caused.
Well, I think Rick and Morty's gonna have to get added to the list of like, comment, and subscribe mentions.
Yeah.
It's such a good show, though.
It is. It's such a good show.
It's just so evil. It's like it is just so evil. You're gonna go into a universe that you know that your doppelganger got killed, and you're just gonna adopt that family and don't tell them shit.
Well, I mean, the very first time it happened was Rick and Morty going to a different dimension because of the Cronenberg thing.
Yeah.
They like pop in and then just fucking shoot the other versions
No,
of
they
themselves.
don't. No, they blew
themselves
up.
They blew themselves up.
Like,
trying
naturally, they
trying
died.
to fix the same problem that he had fixed.
Yeah,
okay.
and then they just basically bury
Buried
them
them in
in,
the
and then
background.
just step into the family like nothing ever happened.
Right. Okay. It's been a minute because we always pick up from like season 5 and
Right,
watch
right.
up.
And then
So-
like a couple episodes later, he ends up telling Summer, like, I'm not your original Morty.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Because-
if her brother-
Yeah, he dug him up and showed
Yeah,
her.
he said, you see those 2 graves out there?
Yeah, that's whenever she stole the portal gun and then they go to his original universe. And-
Yeah, because
and dad is like gone all Conan the Barbarian. He's like,
and that was like the most badass.
yeah, that
Jerry
Jerry was yoked and he didn't give a fuck.
Well, and then eventually he comes back because they show that universe again after that reset, and like everybody else in that universe was dead at that point, but him.
Yep.
Of the family and everything, and so like he's by himself alone, and it's like, oh, so it really took him being alone and nobody else to take care of him, and baby him, for him to actually step up and be, you know.
yeah, because even to Morty, he was like, oh, am I good enough for you now?
God, dude, I remember he was just so jacked, and he's like eating all the shit, he's like, just looking into the distance, and he didn't care.
Did you see the end of that episode, though? After
Yeah.
the credits?
Yeah, fucking Rick Prime took him out. And,
Yeah. What was crazy to me, though, is I didn't put 2 and 2 together until like I watched it a couple times because of what Rick Prime says. You know how like when Rick and Morty go into like where they find Rick Prime when they first find him again, but they don't know if it's him, and he's in that tube and he's like completely naked and he's on that screen. And he's going, oh, that could be me. Oh, but what if it is? What if it's not? 50-50 chance. And then he's like, oh, look at him go, and he's like dancing all naked and rubbing his butt against the glass. And then he goes down to shoot and he goes, oh, there he goes. He goes, and then anyway. But at the end of that episode, where Rick Prime kills Jerry, he's pulling his pants up and he's zipping it up.
Yeah.
And then he tells that Jerry, he's like, because Jerry says something, and then he tells that Jerry, oh no, I was just messing with some people. Yeah. And I was like, so that was him the whole fucking time.
Yep.
Rick could have fucking killed him right fucking there. Like, that wasn't a clone. That wasn't a different fucking Rick. That was Rick Prime in that tube fucking naked shaking his ass at them.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
But all right, we got to wrap it up there, folks. Hit us up on the socials. We are on Nightwatch Podcast on Facebook, /Nightwatch Podcast on Reddit. You can check us out on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, and of course our own here on YouTube. If you want to help financially support the channel, you can check us out at ko-fi.com /Nightwatch Podcast for a one-time or monthly donation. Help us out. That's gonna be it for this shit, folks. We'll see you on the next one.
Good night, citizens.
Good night.
Goodbye.